People don't always want the best version of you. They often want the version of you that best suits them. This realization can be both empowering and disheartening, but it's a truth that everyone must confront at some point. Understanding this dynamic can help you navigate relationships, set boundaries, and prioritize your own growth without becoming a mere reflection of others' expectations. From childhood, we are conditioned to adapt ourselves to fit into the molds created by family, friends, and society. Parents might encourage certain behaviors that align with their ideals, even if they don't resonate with who we truly are. Teachers reward students who conform to a particular standard of discipline or academic performance. Friends often gravitate toward those who share their interests or validate their perspectives. In romantic relationships, partners may subconsciously seek someone who fulfills their emotional or practical needs, sometimes at the expense of individuality. At its core, this phenomenon stems from human nature. People are inherently self-interested, even in their most altruistic moments. We seek comfort, stability, and validation, and we often expect others to contribute to these needs. This doesn't mean people are malicious or manipulative by default. It's simply how we're wired. However, recognizing this tendency is crucial to maintaining authenticity and avoiding the trap of becoming a people pleaser. When people demand a version of you that suits them, it's rarely a conscious act of control. It's more about their comfort zone. For instance, a friend who relies on you for emotional support may struggle when you establish boundaries. They're not trying to suppress your growth. They're grappling with how your evolution affects their needs. Similarly, a romantic partner who resists your desire for change might fear losing the dynamic that initially brought you together. These reactions are natural, but they shouldn't dictate your choices. It's easy to fall into the trap of prioritizing others' expectations over your own aspirations. The fear of disappointing loved ones, losing relationships, or being labeled selfish can be overwhelming. But in bending to fit someone else's mold, you risk losing yourself. The cost of this compromise often manifests as resentment, frustration, and a sense of emptiness. No relationship is worth sacrificing your identity. Being the best version of yourself requires self-awareness, courage, and resilience. It means identifying your values, passions, and goals and pursuing them unapologetically. It's about embracing your strengths and acknowledging your flaws, knowing that growth is a continuous journey. When you prioritize your authenticity, you attract relationships that align with your true self rather than a facade. Setting boundaries is a vital aspect of maintaining authenticity. Boundaries are not walls to shut people out. They're guidelines that define how you wish to be treated and what you're willing to accept. Communicating these boundaries can be challenging, especially with those who are accustomed to a different version of you. However, the discomfort is temporary, and the long-term benefits far outweigh the initial resistance. Consider a scenario where a family member expects you to follow a traditional career path because it aligns with their vision of success. You, on the other hand, are passionate about pursuing a creative field. The easy route is to comply and avoid conflict, but doing so means sidelining your dreams. By respectfully asserting your aspirations, you honor your individuality and demonstrate the importance of self-respect. The family member may need time to adjust, but their acceptance or rejection of your choice is ultimately their responsibility, not yours. Another example is in friendships. Suppose a friend is used to you always being available to listen to their problems, but you realize it's draining your emotional energy. By setting boundaries, perhaps limiting the frequency or duration of such conversations, you're prioritizing your well-being without abandoning the friendship. True friends will understand and adapt. Those who don't may reveal a one-sided dynamic that needs re-evaluation. Romantic relationships often pose the most significant challenges in this context. The desire to please a partner can be strong, especially when love and companionship are involved. However, sacrificing your growth or compromising your values for the sake of harmony can lead to long-term dissatisfaction. A healthy relationship thrives on mutual respect, where both partners support each other's individuality and growth. If a partner consistently resists your efforts to evolve, it may be worth questioning whether the relationship truly serves both parties. Choosing to be your authentic self is not an act of defiance or selfishness, it's an act of self-love. It's about recognizing your worth and refusing to settle for relationships that demand conformity at the expense of your identity. This doesn't mean disregarding others' feelings or becoming rigid in your ways. Balance is key. Flexibility and compromise are necessary for healthy relationships, but they should never come at the cost of your core values or aspirations. The journey to authenticity is not without its challenges. It may lead to uncomfortable conversations, strained relationships, or even the loss of connections that no longer align with your path. But these are necessary growing pains. In shedding relationships that don't honor your true self, you make space for those that do. The people who truly care about you will celebrate your growth, even if it requires adjustment on their part. One of the most liberating realizations is that you are not responsible for managing others' reactions to your authenticity. You can't control how people feel or respond, but you can control how you live your life. By staying true to yourself, you inspire others to do the same. Your courage can serve as a beacon for those who may be struggling with their own identities. It's also important to acknowledge that the version of you that suits others isn't inherently bad. It's a part of who you are, shaped by shared experiences and mutual exchanges. The key is to ensure that this version doesn't overshadow your complete self. Authenticity doesn't mean rejecting every role or expectation. It means integrating them into a holistic, genuine expression of who you are. In the end, the best relationships are those that allow you to be the best version of yourself. These connections don't demand perfection or conformity. They embrace growth, change, and individuality. They provide a safe space for you to explore your potential while offering support and understanding. Cultivating such relationships takes time and effort, but they are infinitely more rewarding than those built on compromise and convenience. So, be wise. Recognize the difference between relationships that uplift you and those that confine you. Choose authenticity over approval. Pursue growth over comfort. And remember, the people who truly matter will want the best version of you, not just the version that suits them.